This time you come to Taiwan is for the transformation. This is a fourth edition, right?
Yep. Community is a great story for Deanston.
恭喜发财，
恭喜发财，
年年有余。
年年有余。
Every year have a fish.
I'm gonna go home and tell everybody.
大家好，我是直杯大叔林一峰。今天非常开心，又来介绍一位来自于苏格兰的好朋友，他是来自于西威士集团的酒厂总监 Andrew。Nice to see you, Andrew.
Hi, nice to meet you.
在西威士集团里面，他们有3家酒厂，都是大家耳熟能详的，有 汀士顿，有 托本莫瑞，还有布纳哈本这3家。然后过去呢 ，Andrew 是在汀士顿担任厂长，现在呢，他担任整个酒厂总监，换言之，管理所有的酒厂，扛住这3家酒厂的威士忌的风格以及品质。我们看我们现在摆的，就知道我们今天要介绍的是汀士顿这家酒厂。我跟这家酒厂非常有缘，我当初领 Keeper 的时候就去拜访了汀士顿这家酒厂。而今天我们要针对汀士顿家酒厂的所有的细节，好好的来询问一下我们的 Andrew。This time you come to Taiwan is for the transformation. This is a fourth edition, right?
Yep. Community is a great story for Deanston. It's really important to the distillery. Deanston was originally founded as a cotton mill over 200 years ago. And they built the village in Deanston where the workers could live there, and they created this whole community of artisans, these craftsmen that were creating the cotton. And then in the 1960s, the cotton mill closed, but it was transformed into the distillery, and it was opened in 1966. And we had all these people who they transformed from being cotton workers to becoming distillery workers. People who grew up in the village, their parents worked there, they now work there. We represent that with the label on the bottle. We've got a signature of various people that work there. So we've got the distillery manager, the master blender, a mashman, a stillman, a warehouseman. So there's a real great community spirit. It's not just something for the people who work in the distillery, but it's for the whole community.
Yeah, I heard the story. Distillery share the power to everybody, right? In the community.
Yeah, so we have a hydro turbine because the distillery was originally, the cotton mill was originally created because of its location next to the water.
Yes.
So that water now it's like our source of water for making whiskey, but also we have these turbines that generate electricity. Today, maybe we use about half of that power, and the other half is all it's all provided into the network.
So community farmers still help the distillery making the local barley for distillery, right?
Yeah, so we exclusively use Scottish barley, yes. Again, because it's all about local produce, community, just having that real good connection with your local environment.
This community whiskey, any new thought or new style?
So for this one, this was Deanston that from 2009, it was put into some ex-bourbon casks.
Yes.
And then in 2023, we transferred it into canasta casks.
Oh, that's a very, very new name.
Yeah.
Canasta cask.
Correct, yeah. So canasta is a type of cream sherry from Jerez, where they use a blend of Pedro Jimenez and Oloroso sherry. The big difference is that they blend it together, and then it's left to mature for at least 6 years, yes, inside these casks, and that becomes the canasta casks that we've used for the 1-year finish.
So it's kind of new cask for the sherry.
Yes, yeah.
And sweet.
Of course, it's sweet, yes. So it's a relatively sweet sherry, but we find that it gives lots of flavors of brown sugar. Okay. So when you try this whiskey, like that's one of the impressions that you get on the mouth and the finish.
So we can try?
I think, yeah, let's try it. So, cheers.
Cheers.
To begin with, I always sort of enjoy looking at the color, and you know, we've got a sort of dark gold here.
Yeah.
It's at 52.3% ABV, so you've got like a slightly stronger alcohol smell from it. But within that, there's lots of warmth, but there's also lots of sweetness. For me, it's like toffee or butterscotch.
Even smell, I can feel so sweet.
Yeah.
And a nice sweet. A lot of layer, complex sweet.
Yeah, and I think because we've used the bourbon cask for the majority, you have that vanilla sweetness.
Yes.
But then because it's been in the canasta cask, you then start to get some of those
dry
fruit sweetness. Yeah.
Some orange peel. Yeah. Like lemon peel. When I make the cocktail, I will use the lemon peel with some oil in there.
Okay.
Smells so good.
Yeah, you get that nice little bit of citrus. It's not too overpowering, but it's definitely there in the background. So with Old Deanston, I'm always looking for like quite a creamy mouthfeel.
Yes.
Something that's quite coating.
Butter feel.
Yeah, exactly. So to begin with, at the front of your mouth, the initial burst of sweetness. You have some of the toasted malt type flavor, continues to develop. For me, you get like dried apricots, dried golden raisins, kind of like the very light dried fruits.
Very interesting. This is not like the other Deanston. It's more dark color, but I still can get a lot of sherry flavor from this.
Yeah.
And with some, a lot of vanilla, a lot of butter flavor, good balance with dry fruit. So fresh food and dry fruit, good balance in this glass.
Perfect, yeah.
Because I visited the distillery before, Deanston, you are not a distillery, you are a country. I remember Deanston Distillery, you own your own coin, right?
Yeah. So yeah, back when it was a cotton mill,
yes.
They used to stamp their own coins that would say Deanston Cotton Mill. And they would issue that to the workers as a way of effectively paying them. But again, it was all about community, because what this meant was they could spend those coins in the local shops, yes. And they would be immune to any price pressure that was happening elsewhere. So it was a good way of making sure that all the workers were...
So is it legal? Yes, yeah. Scottish government won't come to find you.
No, we don't do that anymore, because I don't think you'd be able to buy very much with one coin.
So that's very interesting. They own their coin. Yesterday, the launch party, I can see the old Deanston coin exchange the cocktail.
Yeah, and it's a great way of sort of remembering the sort of heritage of the distillery, and it's a fun way to pay for a cocktail, isn't it?
A lot of people tell me they like the Deanston heritage because so smooth.
Incredibly smooth, yes. Really smooth, very creamy as well. Lots of fresh fruit, I find, in this one, so probably a bit more of the citrus exists, but then like a real nice balance with like lots of sweetness as well.
We know the single malt whiskey ingredient, water, malt, and yeast. Heritage is so smooth because water or barley or yeast. How do you think?
At Deanston, we tend to always try and produce a clear wort. So like our malt is, when we are mashing, we want to really just get as much of the clean flavors, and then we ferment for a relatively long time, trying to get towards 100 hours.
Wow, 100 hours.
So when you start going for longer, you can create more and more fruity flavors. Yes. That is really important. Like if you don't create it in fermentation, you can't create it anywhere else.
Yes.
So fermentation is where we create the flavors.
Good flavor test time.
Exactly, yes. And then distillation, we want to make sure that we bring all those flavors over into the spirit. So we have a very unique still house. It had to be squeezed into the existing cotton mill, so it's like no other distillery that you'll see, and for that the shapes of the stills also help to create the fruity flavor. And then then you're into maturation. So typically with Deanston, everything will be in sort of bourbon casks to begin with, and then we can do things like this where we can finish it in sherry to just round it off and give it a little bit extra.
I always love this one.
Yeah.
Sometimes I will with soda.
Yeah.
Making the highball.
Yeah, I think it's a good whiskey that you would be able to sort of use in different ways, whether you're making cocktails or just like a simple mixer. Yeah, it's pretty full-bodied as well. It's going to be able to work with different flavors.
Whiskey lover always want to give some whisper, knowing maybe next year some new things. So you, as a head of distiller, please tell us,汀士顿, some good news. Whisper to us.
Yeah, so at Diensten, like if we talk about this sort of like pioneering spirit and things like that, we do like to try new things. We like to use different casks. So what I can tell you is we've got Diensten laid down in a few different casks. It's finishing in different things. So like a rum finish, or if we have other types of wine casks. Last year did one in a tequila cask. So
wow, tequila cask.
We don't have anything that we know exactly what we're doing, because we're just monitoring each of them so then we can pick the right one when it's ready. I think with it having that that extra body, that sort of good level of fruitiness, it can stand up to different cask types. We can let it mature for a little bit longer and it doesn't become dominated. Yeah. Because that's really important. The last thing you want to do is put some spirit in there, and then when you try it, it's completely overpowered by the wood. But we can always get a really nice balance, which allows us to do different things, experiment, hopefully keep everyone interested. But with it being 12 years old, it's got that extra maturity. You can definitely tell they're very balanced, very much, everything's working in harmony. But for me with this one, you get so much more of the sherry. Yes. It's really prominent.
Smooth too.
Yes. So I hope that's what you will see next year, is that we'll have something that might have started in a similar fashion to this. Yes. But then we'll have just taken it on a different twist, give it some new flavor, something interesting. We've also got here the 18-year-old whiskey, always one of my favorites.
Really?
So it always has to be included in anything that I'm doing with people, because I love to share it with everybody.
Okay, cool. You know, Taiwan have something dry fruit with sugar.
Yeah.
We call it 蜜饯, or the called 姜生甜. That kind of things. Wow. I can smell it.
That's exactly what I tell everybody every time with this one. It's candied fruits.
Candied fruit. 原来 candied fruit 是我们姜生甜蜜饯的那个英文的说法哦。
What I always start with, it's like it's orangey. I've got lots of that orange zest. Sometimes this is a very typical flavor in the UK. I always talk about orange marmalade. Yes. So I always feel that is there, but there's always something more. Yeah, you have these candied fruits. I can again imagine like an orange that's been slightly dried out, and it's like the sugar that's there. This spends the first 16 years in usually just refill casks. So it's all just about very long, sort of gentle maturation. And then we give it about 2 years in an ex-bourbon cask to give you that little burst of sweetness as well. So you have some of the that vanilla butterscotch. And what I love about this whiskey is you can have it any time of year. So if it's a brilliant summer's day and you're having a barbecue, this works. But also if it's cold and you want to be inside and it's a bit dark, then this always works.
Wow, this smells so good. I would recommend my friend should try this one.
Yeah.
Andrew love #1.
yeah.
Cheers.
Cheers. Cheers. But how smooth.
Yeah.
It is brilliant. And again, your mouth is fully coated. Those fruits are there, very citrusy. But then as it kind of lingers for a long time, you start to get some of like this gingerbread, a little bit of the spices coming through.
There's a wonderful balance.
And I think that's because it's such a good combination of the spirit that is made at Diensten, but then the very long, gentle maturation until it's just right. So I know that New Year is coming. I know the Taiwanese like to share a New Year gift, so for you, I have brought you a gift. And so, yeah, with this gift,
thank you.
I wish you a very successful New Year with lots of prosperity, something much more valuable than my Deanston coins. So that's what I wish for you.
In Taiwan, we will talk the lucky words to each other. 恭喜发财.
恭喜发财?
Yo! It is a congratulations, everybody got rich. 恭喜发财.
恭喜发财.
The second gift. So I have to give you the second lucky words. The second lucky words is 年年有余.
年年有余?
Okay, you should come to Taiwan with us. 年年有余 is every year have a fish. Remaining is a 鱼, and fish is a 鱼. Every year we have the remaining money, remaining everything.
Okay.
So 年年有余.
I'm gonna go home and tell everybody I want them every year. I want them to have a fish.
非常谢谢 Andrew 来到台湾，并且跟我们分享新的 Deanston Community 以及非常好喝的 Deanston 各系列的威士忌。我们再次谢谢我们的 Andrew。Thank you, Andrew.
Thank you so much.
I hope you enjoy Taiwan.
Yes, it's a brilliant place.